This is how you trade the PM session macro using CRT. CRT is MXM. CRT is accumulation, manipulation, expansion, as well as power 3. That's all it is, right? And now, why do we pick this specific macro of the PM session? There's three reasons. First is the first macro of the PM session. Second is the expansion macro of the PM session, because when the macro happened, after that, market expanded here, right? So it's the expansion macro of the PM session. Third, it plays a role as a KOD sometimes. Today, there's no roles as KOD because the market is nowhere near meeting the 4-hour CRT. And the fourth and final most otherest reason, the only time you want to trade this PM macro, CRT, which is considered to be the lower time frame CRT within the higher time frame CRT. The only time you would ever want to enter this trade if there's a CRT that happened during the AM session. So let's just say AM session, you missed a move, missed a whatever, right? Setup is not there, euro is not there, but the setup's getting respected. Oh, the euro is not there, so you could catch a little pie of it during the macro of the PM session, which is between what I have redefined it to is the 130 to 145. Right? Why do I say? ICT set it to 140. I set to 145 because the 15-minute candle ends right on 145. So it makes sense at 145 here, right? And you can see right before 140 candle ended, it gave us the model 1 here, right? So the macros last till 145, eventually ends from there on end, right? So he set it till from 110 to 145. I have redefined it to 130 to 135. So now you're 145. So now you're only there in the market for 15 minutes, right? And why do I not say the 110 to 1 all the way to 130? Because the first half is going to be used as an accumulation, manipulation. As the first half is going to be used as an accumulation, right? The first half is going to be the first 20 minutes of the macro. First 10 minutes of the macro is going to be from 110 to 120. Second, which is going to take the 50% of the time of the macro, which is going to be the 120 to 130. They're going to be accumulation. From 130 to 145, it's going to be manipulation and expansion. So when one market instantly manipulates, it's going to expand to the drawn liquidity, which is the other end, or the higher type of drawn liquidity if there's a setup here, right? So that's could potentially happen as well. And yeah, now I'll show you guys two examples today and yesterday. And yeah, as I said, the only time you want to take this setup if the CRT, the 4-hour time frame is present, only 4-hour time frame. And the second reason is the only time you want to trade this is the take profit of the 4CT has not been met during the AM. Last and final thing is the most important is logic, right? You must use this logically, patternly, right? And this will sometimes play as the role as a KOD. And the KOD must be very, very it must be very clear. Cannot be unclear, right? So if we're looking for this to be a KOD and trying to push it all down here, it's not gonna work out, right? You ain't gonna make shit from this, right? Yesterday, if you're to take the short to the downside, thinking that this will be the KOD all the way with the 15-minute time frame here, right? Yesterday happened as well here, right? Yesterday time, if you were looking for this to be a KOD, it would have not happened here, right? You got a key level here. And the last and final, most important thing is you must always have a key level for this 15-minute time. Since you're looking for this macro, what time frame of a key level you're looking for is a 15-minute time frame, because we're looking to use a low time frame CRT within the high time frame CRT, which is the 15-minute time frame, right? There's a 15-minute time frame with the low time frame CRT within the high time frame CRT, right? So in this case, there's no such thing as KOD here. How come? Because market is very far away from me, right? The market is not near the drawn liquidity, so you can see market reverse high from here. So if you were to just go down here, you would have made your profit, you're done, because market is not near the drawn liquidity here, right? So that would have made sense. But first, start with this before going to that. And you can see how do we trade this? It's very simple. So you're only gonna look for a setup between 130 to 145. So you're gonna mark the 1:15 a.m. of the 15-minute time frame candle, as well as mark out the high to low to make it count as CRT, like MXM or whatever. You go to a lower time frame. The low of this is original consolidation, right? There's an original consolidation right on the low of this candle. Yes, you may not see if you go to a lower time frame, like that 50-second time frame, there's a accumulation around here, right? There's an accumulation on this big ass fucking candle here, right? Around here, there's an accumulation here, right? So that's why. But since we're in a 1 minute time frame, it's gonna be very unclear. But there's a MXM here as well as a accumulation right over here, manipulation, expansion, right? Some shit like that, or power of three as well, right? Don't worry about that. If you guys know CRT, you guys know what to do, right? So you're putting the line. You're at 125. You're gonna mark the landscape, right? You're gonna know you're drawing liquidity, and this must be used logically. So since you already have your AM session move, right? Since you already have your session move to the downside, I think it's gonna be even easier. So because you're gonna have the same bias throughout the whole day, right? So you already know your session, just to the downside because the AM session, and so the P is gonna be a little easier, right? So all you're doing is waiting for you're marking out the 125. You're gonna mark the landscape, high and the low, waiting for the high to get souped and go down to low. In this case, this would have been a double purge, right? Which is if it's still valid to take a trade out of, right? So now once that happens, now the last thing you're doing at 125 to 130, when you're marking the landscape, you're gonna mark a key level. And this key level would have been the fair value gap. So now with the lower time frame, once the CRT high gets purged, looking for that purge and then you're looking to short that shit to the downside, right? So first, our key level is here, right? So time is here. We already have the time, which is the macro. The key level must be there too, right? Because the time and the time and the price are always gonna align. So in this case, time aligned, but price didn't. So price right back up high, right? So price at the high, went down lower, right? People who shorted down here. I took a short here. I took a loss. I eventually found out, oh shit, I forgot about the key level, right? So eventually tap the key level, then give us model one entry there, stop loss here, and short that shit down all the way down here, which was a 3.8 RR. Yes, sometimes the R is gonna vary. Sometimes when there's a KOD happening, to the forest CRT, you're gonna make way more than 3 RR, right? There's a good amount of 3 RR here. So you enter here, boom, take profit here, stop loss here, eventually take profit got hit, a couple of minutes after that, after like I think fucking pretty sure after 40 minutes, after 30 minutes or 20 minutes it got met, right? So take profit got met, boom, you're chilling here now, right? So the entry, the setup must be there between 130 to 135, 145, right? If setup's not there, do not take the trade. If the setup is there, but the setup didn't get tapped, right, and the 145 clicks in, when the macro is ending, you can still enter the trade. The setup was already there, and during that macro, but it just didn't get tapped. And the last final thing is if the CRT gets respected and the 145 clicks in, you're done. You're done for the day, right? And and then the last thing is you must always be in the 4-hour CRT range. If you're not 4-hour CRT range, do not take the trade because you will face losses. In this case, we're in a 4-hour CRT range. Yes, it's going up higher because, obviously, because there's no setups here to take an AM session here, right? But since there's the range, you could just took on a macro short to the downside, quick little macro short. You could have taken right over here. You could see it happened as said here, right? You could see 135 ended, 145 came around, and guess what happened? Market eventually, from there on forward, reflect that out here. So you have 15-minute, take a trade, just a quick 15-minute macro time, as well as a quick 15-minute, accumulation, mid-pitch expansion, quick 15-minute, XM model to the downside, like 1 minute XM model. This is the only way you can take a 1 minute trade. In the AM session, you can't take a 1 minute session because there's too much volume here. It's like a little small macro that you can take a trade out of, which is proven by proof by ICT from 130 to 145 is what I redefine it as. We define it as the 110 to 140. I define it as 130 to 145 just through my understanding. Show you guys one more example of this working out. And this example, keep in mind, our bias was already bearish. We're on a forward CRT range already. Here we have a CRT right over here, 135, so 125, we're clocking in, looking for market landscape, capacity low, have a key level, okay. Now the last thing is we already have the drawn liquidity, we're trading in a range, okay, everything is valid. So now once the low gets purged, the high of the range gets purged, and we look at the trade here, you can see how there's an original consolidation here, right? There's an original, if you go to the 1 minute, it may not look like an original consolidation, there's a 1 minute original consolidation here. It may not look like it, but it is. If you go to the 15-second time frame, you can see a big ass range around here, right? So range high gets purged instantly, right when 130 gets hit. It may be, it looks like it's, it's not random, right? You may see random to you, but it's not random to me, right? This is not random. So the market instantly purges out the high, boom, right at 135, because usually 130 to 145 is going to be manipulation and expansion. So 135 clicks in, doesn't waste any time, push out the high, is definitely key level as well. Gives us a model one at one, with the model one at 137, taps it. The entry happened before the kill zone ended, the macro ended here. Like profit would be right out here for a 3.6 RR. This will usually always give you a 3 RR. Should definitely give you a 3 RR. I probably suggest you guys not take a trade that's less than 3 RR here, because why? The setup is a very low. This the range small. You want to get in. Since you're getting in and out quick, you need to have at least a 3 RR. You can, because this could go on a loss fast here, right? Right, it can go on a loss fast. But today was proven, right? I literally took a live, live data. If you go to my Discord, I shared it as well. So I took it here. Boom, stop loss there. Take profit right here. You can see this is live here, right? So. And you want to only looking for a 3 RR for a PM session. And yeah, if it does not offer you a 3 RR, just call it a day, right? And for this, some of you guys could have definitely gone here, but you would have not made any money because market could have, pushed you out loud. But if you go back in chart, I definitely do have examples of this working in a different range. Which is not the example over there. The example was somewhere around here. It was on this day, be sure. 30:15. Yeah, on this day is when the setup happened here, right? No, this setup did happen, but market never tapped the entry, just went up high from there forward, right? Which we're not gonna execute, right? I mean, there was definitely a setup. If you go back here, let's go back in time. Let's do a little quick back session just to prove the point of this working, right? Given that this time we're already bullish, we already had a 460 range, everything was aligned, right? So this is our working the 130 candle. Boom, this is our range. Our key level is this sales of liquidity. It looks like they didn't get, matte here. They didn't get soup. But if you can see here, there's definitely a key level here. We just need to get a key level. Our key level could be this fucking auto block here, right? Because we're in this auto block. Auto block could be our key level, right? As long as we have a key level there, that's all we care about. Level is there. Right, so boom. We're waiting until 130 clicks in. Just to show you guys an example of this working out, right? So boom, market said it comes back down, drops, took out the low instantly. That low did not get taken out, and there's another low that gets taken out right over here. Now, because this, you can't have the same low, right? So now the low gets taken out in the right time. The right time is between 130 to 145. And why do I extend I probably wonder, well, look, yo, it's supposed to be 140. Why is it to 145? The 15 time frame, right? This is a 15-minute low time for CRT with a high time for CRT. This is usually a classic CRT candle. Keep that in mind, right? It's not always gonna be perfect because there's CRT subtypes, but usually I will always offer a CRT classic candle, which is the first the 3:15-minute candle, like 1:15 the 1:15 p.m. candle is gonna be used as an accumulation. 1:30 candle of the 15-minute time frame is gonna be used as a manipulation. The 1:45 candle is gonna be expansion, right? So a quick accumulation manipulation expansion on the lower time frame of the 15-minute time frame here, right? So it's our macro, right? Boom. Key level is already there. So since we got a loop, so our macro is still here. So now if you have to set up the right time, which we do, boom, have to set up the right time here. Number one happened. In this case, the take profit got met first. So which is the thing is, it all depends on how you want to do this, right? If you, this could be a little bit more riskier, right? You could have still long this up here to this don't look at it, right? Could have, you know, retested it and go right back to this high that, you know, so now once it's gets entry here, I've just gone for this as you take profit, right? Eventually going like that. So now once that gets tapped, you enter. You see how this is very um see how it's easy. This is like what this is this high original consistency 15-second time frame. Because 15-minute, you're gonna go 15-second time frame to get the actual original consideration. The 1 minute time frame is, you know, to make big ass candles here, right? Because what once it gets tapped, entry there, big profit right on this for a 4-point RR. And on this day, you could have, if you're very smart, you could have gone for as a, let's see if I could get this high. Could have gone for the higher time frame as your range, but since it's Friday, you want to go for it here because there's no KOD here, right? Boom, market comes back higher, tips, general liquidity, then you're done for the day. Simple as that, right? And I do have examples where he failed, but the time he failed was because when there's no range there, right? So keep that in mind. And yeah, this is enough examples for you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys join the Discord down below for free one-on-one sessions, free mentorship, um, free mentorship, free one-on-one session, free community, free mentorship, free gold signals, setting repair signals, crypto signals, forex signals, and yeah, see you guys inside the Discord. Peace out. Oof.